Devin Booker can't be stopped in NBA 2K25. I mean, you can try, but if you're going up against someone that knows all the tools that Devin Booker has, aka me, you will have one of the deadliest scorers in the game. And in this video, I'm going to take you through two games in Play Now Online. The first going up against the league best Cleveland Cavaliers, and not just any Cavs user. This Cavs user was an absolute cook on offense. I mean, just take a look. He's taking rhythm shots from three and from the mid-range with Jarrett Allen. He was a force to be reckoned with. But in the second game, we go up against Chef Curry and the 2016 Golden State Warriors, arguably the best regular season team in history. And this dude was an absolute chef with Chef Curry, just cooking me in ways that I haven't been cooked before. And in the first game, we're going up against the league best Cleveland Cavaliers. A tier 2 team, but is a very strong tier 2 team just because of the ratings updates and the combination of bigs and smalls that sort of make up for the weaknesses of having an imbalanced roster. As you can see, I was a little bit careless with the ball right there. I thought it was Darius Garland. No way he could pluck that. Indeed, he plucked that indeed. But my goal is to show you guys incredible stuff you can do with Devin Booker. And as you can see right there, a simple hezzy crossover directly comboed into a side hop jumper. That's signature Devin Booker right there. Devin Booker, in my opinion, has the best pro play animations in the game. We're talking about a very solid dribble style which gives you a good push cross, excellent finishing animations, and a combination of attributes and badges that really make him stand out as one of the premier scorers in the game. And let's not forget his excellent floater, his excellent fadeaway jumpers. Those pull-up jumpers are probably some of the best in the game. A tier 1 step back jumper package that, when you combine it with the ability to cancel out of anything, just makes Devin Booker that much unstoppable. And as I said, he's got a set of finishing animations that are some of the best in the game. His dunk package is probably the meta dunk package for low dunk rating builds. His signature layup basically gets you past your defender's body. And if you can activate his signature floater, which was one of the most overpowered floaters in NBA 2K history, you just got a complete set of shot creating animations that will tip you over the top. And if you know how to use all of those tools combined, you have what is basically an unstoppable scorer in the game. And if I haven't said it already, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to those of you that celebrate. I hope you're enjoying the time with your family, and if you have some time off, the time you use to escape whatever you're going through by playing the game, for example. So hope you had a blessed year and a great holiday. But anyway, back to this game first, and what you're seeing is a Cleveland Cavaliers user who is a very, very good Darius Garland user. You'll see later on an excellent Donovan Mitchell user. And hell, even a surprisingly good Jarrett Allen user that's not just pick and roll dive or simply drop step back to the basket. You'll see that this guy knows this team like the back of his hand. And for me, Play Now Online is one of those modes, and Play Now in general is one of those modes where this game really shines. I think the combination of a balanced roster, not too many overpowered demigods or glitch builds, for example, or my team cards that are meant to break the game. So as an experience, a lot of people have been asking me, why am I not playing rec or solo rec for that matter? I'll have a separate video on this. But I just gotta say, as a simulation gamer and as someone who's enjoyed the 5v5 aspect of NBA 2K and being able to control that and being able to play the way that I like, Play Now Online has 100% scratched that itch for me. And it's all I've been playing for the past maybe 1.5 to 2 months now. And let me tell you something, man. Towards the middle of Season 2, I would say I was miserable playing Random Rec. And it's not because I suck in Random Rec. I mean, you guys saw the build. I averaged over 25 points with my Chef Cruz build. Being able to dominate offensively, even if I had the toughest perimeter lockdowns on me. It was easy work with that build, to be honest. But I hated that game mode just because it's like the worst representation of what simulation basketball is in 2K. Like my team is also up there, and I played my team from 2K22 to 2K23. But you go into my team, you understand what that nature of the nature of that mode is, and that mode is built as a power fantasy to try and break the game slowly, to the point that it changes the geometry of the floor. When overpowered cards come, there's basically nothing you can do against a team with like 5 god level my team cards. But with that said, rec and random rec, solo rec in particular, the most painful basketball experience you'll ever play. I started playing solo rec. I played it for the first time in 2K24. And I played solo rec from I think middle of season 1 to around middle of season 2, and I would say like 90% of the time hated it. I mean, the selfish nature of players online just basically doesn't make for a really good experience. It's by far the mode where the worst basketball happens, and I don't think that's a controversial take to have. So yeah, my solution: stop playing that mode. I mean, even though I put money and VC into the mode, like I knew if I continued to play random rec and experienced what I was experiencing going up against, or not even against, teaming up with some of the worst 2K players I've ever played with, not from a like gameplay mentality, but from a teammate, mentality, it drove me nuts. And so my solution, and this is why I have a healthy relationship with the game, is I stopped playing the mode that gave me the most misery. And if I know a lot of people do not like 2K25, maybe this isn't the year for you. And if you put in money already, that's unfortunate, but step away from the game for a while, see if you still even have fun, because if you don't, and I went through this before, there's so much to play out there, and video games, unless you're doing this as your main source of income, video games should be fun, man. And the improvement in how I saw 2K was basically from that. I stopped playing random rec, and I tried teaming up with people from the Philippines, tried to set up a few group chats where I would get non-randoms in my team, and I couldn't do it. And therefore I said, you know what, I'm just not going to play random rec anymore. And so now I play a lot of play now online and have a lot of fun in this game. What you're seeing here is this dude was basically dead in the water until he started shooting jump shots with Jarrett Allen. And this dude, man, you gotta respect going up against dudes like this. I thought midway I had him figured out. I was playing at probably 80% of what I was capable of, maybe 70 to 80%. And then he surprised me with that Jarrett Allen explosion. Like, he even shot a 3-ball with Jarrett Allen, and I was like, that's the first one for me. And this guy really knew how to cook, man. He knew how to take me from left to right, put pressure going to the basket, hit me with the step backs, and combo that into his laners. This guy was definitely good, and a great example of how this game sings when you have, the right type of players to go against, or maybe even team up with. I mean, this dude was cooking me with someone like Darius Garland, not the easiest guy to use in 2K25. Darius Garland has a lot of great herky-jerky animations, a jump shot that is slightly difficult to time, and this guy knew what he was doing, man. He knew about the bump steals and how they were buffed post gameplay and patch update. But let's go back to Devin Booker. And Devin Booker in this game, if you followed me for a while now, since 2K23, when he did mocap for 2K, when he was the cover athlete, dude, Devin Booker's animations just continue to get better and better. In 2K24, they added a signature layup package that included the best floater, in my opinion, in 2K history. Like his long-range floater that generates a lot of elevation. Like, I haven't seen a floater that good in 2K. Not even in 2K25 with new floater animations. Like, Devin Booker in this game, if you know all the tools that he has, he's basically unstoppable. So that's why I built a 6-6 build that I'm currently grinding to take to the wreck as a big point guard. It's going to be a combination of Devin Booker and SGA for the most part. And Devin Booker is just insane in this game, man. And so here what you're seeing once again is I started to apply pressure to my opponent, especially since he's already like, I think, gotten back in the game 2 times, and like there are multiple times where I've threatened to pull away. And man, this dude, like, to take shots like that, rhythm shots at that, being defended by someone like Royce O'Neal, this dude was absolutely cooking. And I think this is the 3rd time he got me with the bump steal just because I was being lazy and trying to set up my offense. And man, this dude is whoever this dude is an absolute killer. So my strategy here was, I'm not a big fan of Tyus Jones's jump shot in 2K25. So what I did was basically bring it back to 2K24, where Devin Booker was basically the point guard, have Bradley Beal out there as the 2 guard, and then have Royce O'Neal and KD alongside Nurkic on my front line. So I at least have a switchable 3 and a switchable 4 to make up for the slowness in the game of Yusuf Nurkic. So here he's got Darius Garland coming off against screens, and look at my defensive coverage here. I was basically calling for a switch because Darius Garland just basically killed me on a few of those above the break threes, and then a lot of those high screen and roll 3-pointers. And this here right here is the game screwing me over, man. That's AI Kevin Durant on a hard closeout on an Evan Mobley 3. Oh my gosh, and that put him up by 1. And at this point, so you know, this is an example of the game just going bonkers. And like, you know, it can go one of 2 ways. You can get frustrated, which I certainly was, but you move on to the next play, man, and just play, you know, good basketball. I got a good shot here. Maybe a little bit of that frustration cost and the pressure of the moment caused that miss. But, you know, it is what it is. We got a good shot. You can't be upset with the process if the results don't go your way, as long as the process is right. And here we're just doing a great job on Donovan Mitchell. He wanted a dunk. He wanted something easy to seal the deal. He had like a fadeaway in the middle right there, but he didn't want to risk it. And what happened as a result of that is that he had to take a rushed shot with Darius Garland. Well defended right there. I see here Darius Garland on Kevin Durant, which, you know, even if he closes out, I'm shooting over Darius Garland, the way the contest system is. And people don't really talk about that. The contest system in 2K25 is way better than in 2K24. Much more predictable. It favors a lot of taller users, especially if you're going up against a shrimp. You can shoot over them and basically feel like there's nothing there. And this is an example of me just, you know, trusting the process. You know, I didn't mean to take a timeout there to sort of upset my opponent. It was just a quick reaction to get the ball and make sure that no turnover is caused. But this is a great game going up against a great opponent. An example of, you know, a guy knowing how to use his team. He was probably the best Cavs user I've ever faced, and a great game overall. Devin Booker 38 points, again showing you how good he is. Now game 2, we're going up against the 2016 Warriors, and an important point here is Andre Iguodala isn't in the game this year, so that kind of screws up his ability to use the Hamptons 5 lineup. So if you're using the 2016 or Warriors, that's probably one thing that's missing. And shout out to this dude, I think his name is Handsome Tech or something like that. He's one of the better Curry users I've seen out there. And we exchange a little bit of tactical paint attacks right here, but for the most part, this game was like a lot of high pick and rolls. He was mostly off-balling, sure. Okay, I'll give him slack for that. It's what everybody does, but this guy really knew how to cook with Steph Curry, and I have to give him credit. You know, not everybody can. So I'm showing you right here some of his possessions where he knew how to use strong handle, he knew how to use physical finisher, and that's why, you know, understanding the mechanics and having game knowledge of what situations trigger certain animations and certain badges is important in this game. And this right here is game knowledge 101. Pick and fade. Steph Curry was closing out on KD. Hell yes, I'll take that shot every single time because of how the contest system works. And here's an example of game knowledge. As you can see, he's freelancing on defense, off ball. Since, you know, Nurk isn't a perimeter threat, you know, I send a backdoor cut to try to draw his Andrew Bogut inside. And when he's inside, use the screen with from Yusuf Nurkic, knowing that there's no help right there, and you'll probably be in drop coverage. So these are the things as a Play Now online user that will really help you improve your game. If you know what certain counters are to certain meta defenses, and this is an example right here of the guy knowing how to use Steph Curry. That is classic Steph Curry right there. Nice midi pull-up, using rhythm shooting. Again, clearly this is a guy who knows 100% what he's doing. And you know, as a Warriors fan, this right here is like really fun to see because he used Draymond Green as a decoy to get Harrison Barnes out of that split cut to go to the top of the three-point line and really make me pay with that. And this is why I have fun with Play Now Online. Just, you know, the little details, the strategies, the back and forth, especially against guys like this who knows exactly how to use the Warriors. This is the stuff that I'm looking for. Hey, but you know me, man. You know, I love a good challenge. And as you can see right there, Devin Booker's got the best step back jumper in the game. Hands down. Like, not even close. I mean, of course, Steph Curry side hop jumpers, you know what I like to call the chef special, probably the best move in the game. But in terms of overall diversity, Devin Booker, he got Steph Curry beat, and I don't think it's particularly close. And again, this is an example of a guy who knows what he's doing. Jesus, that is such an excellent step back jumper. And knowledge of how to use Steph Curry, because Steph Curry's got shifty shooter, probably mini marksman. Oh, look at that. He's using the T-Mac launch on me. You know, but unfortunately, he attempted this layup a little bit too deep and cost him 2 points right there. Probably should have settled for a pull-up or maybe a step back jumper instead. But this right here, when a guy purposefully plans out a move to get into the Steph Curry side hop jumper, the chef special, that's when you know that this is someone that does his lab work. And that was a great move. Just took me left to right and then back to the left with the Steph Curry side hop jumper. Excellent stuff right here. So now I'm using KD. This is physical finisher 101. And it's been a pretty close game. I'm just up by 4 at this point. And you know what? If someone's just freelancing off ball, try to involve them in as much screen and roll as possible. And here I use strong handle, which is one of my favorite techniques. Now he's collapsed on defense, and as you can see, just making people pay off of knowledge of mechanics in the game is pretty easy, and that's why you should know all the counters against the CPU. This is a great play right here, one that I wasn't really expecting, but he knew he had to pull something out just because the lead was getting a little bit too big right there. And again, like I said, off-ball defense. Sean Livingston, not a great defender, not enough to combat that strong handle spin. Devin Booker with the easy finish. So the way I play this game is basically, you know, I know the counters to off-ball defense. There's back cuts, there's freelances, there's plays, high screen and low roll, how to target certain matchups in terms of CPU defenses. And I know all those tools, and this is what makes me a very good player, not just in this game mode but in other game modes, just because I recognize the strategy and game knowledge behind every decision that I make. And at this point, he's gotten cooked by Sean Livingston, by Devin Booker so many times now. He did a smart thing by putting Klay Thompson, who at this point I think is a really good perimeter defender. That said, I'll just target Sean Livingston all over again. Easy step back jumper right there from Bradley Beal. And this is typically what I like to call the danger zone when you're up by 9, threatening to burst the game wide open. So this would have been a very important possession to try to, you know, soften him up a little bit more. Make it as tough for him as possible to get back in the game. So I see that there's, floppy action on the left side of the floor. Easy switch right out there. No more time left. He wouldn't be able to make that dump off pass out of that curl. Easily defended right there. And again, off-ball defense, that means I got free reign to do my backdoor cuts. He's got settings on to try to deny some of my most talented scorers on the team, so back cut is an easy 2 points. This right here is a great play from him out of that Iverson screen into a Klay step back. And once again, I don't think he made the adjustment for this half. I have Sean Livingston on Devin Booker, which in theory is a good matchup because of his length. I'm trying to get into contact so I can get that physical finisher finish. Invert the pick and roll here. Sean Livingston doesn't hedge, doesn't switch. Got Draymond trailing, and that's an easy foul for an easy 2 points. And this possession right here, I want to highlight the on-ball defense. Just take a look at this, man. Not falling for those little tricks, shading him the right way, not overreacting, not getting sucked into that animation, able to break out to contest that layup. Come on. Defense in this game, I'm talking about real defense, right? Like moving your feet. It's really good and an underrated aspect of this 2K. So once again, drop coverage, easy fade away for Devin Booker's easy 2 points. And take a look at this, man. This is Bradley freaking Beal putting the clamps on Steph Curry. Like, and that just shows you, being in position, moving your feet, knowing which triggers to hold, how to play great positional defense, not overreacting is really important in 2K. So take a look at my recognition right here. Steph Curry, for some reason, is switched on to KD. Even before KD is able to set the screen, I just abandoned that and hit KD as he flashes towards the middle just because Stephen Curry is right there. Even though I get a very late release, easy 2 points just because of how small Steph Curry is. So once again, I'm threatening to bust this game wide open. Timely 3-pointer by my opponent right there. And once again, he's got Andrew Bogut on deep help position. That means if I ask for a screen, he'll probably be in drop. I'll probably able to do a mid-day pull. Tries to go under the screen, gets caught. Fake right there. Easy 2 points. This is just strategy, right? This is just knowing how to attack certain coverages. Off ball, drop coverages, for example. What to watch out for if someone's going under a screen. These are the sort of things that you pick up on with one, basketball knowledge, but also two, just seeing enough defensive coverages out there. And this guy just, on the verge of being destroyed once again, hits a timely spin jumper under tight defensive coverage. So once again, I got Steph Curry on an island. Understand where the help defense is coming from, taking deep to the left. Launch with the floater way before Andrew Bogut gets in there to contest that. Easy 2 points. That's game knowledge. Once again, that's strong handle into understanding how high risk reward layups work. And again, this guy just refuses to go away. At any point when he's about to get blown out, he just hits some timely shots. And kudos to him, man. And at this point, even though 8 points and 5 minutes is a long way to go, especially with how the game works, especially with the way sometimes that 2K allows the other team to get back into it. I had him pretty downloaded. His defense was not very good, so there's good off-ball defense, like the guys who understand rotations, understand how to force turnovers. He was not one of them. He just didn't know how to defend either on ball or off ball, but he did know how to cook. I mean, I've never had someone do that move to me before. And it's one of those moves, those dynamic post entries that I like to use. The difference is this is Steph Curry. Steph Curry doesn't have any post scoring badges. Definitely not post fade phenom. So for him to take that shot, and if you take an insane shot on one end, that KD shot was equally insane because that was actually his best possession on defense, and this is an example of me killing the defense with shot cancels. And hats off to him. This dude, Handsome Tech is, I think his name is, great offensive 2K player. Like, really knows mechanics, really knows combos, really knows how the game works. But defensively is probably his next step that he needs to take in order to be really, really good at the game. I think he wins like maybe 66% of his games based on his record. I think he has a 2-to-1 ratio of wins to losses, which, if that's over, I think that's around 250 to maybe 280 games. That's a pretty good record. Anytime you're winning over 2 out of your 3 games and you've put in nearly 300 games of play now online, that's pretty good. But defense is his main weakness, so I have about a 90% plus win rate across my 3 different accounts for Play Now Online, and a lot of those games are won on the defensive end, not the offensive end. There's some games where I just don't have it on offense. And talking about having it on offense, just take a look at how we concocted that recipe. A Devin Booker James Harden double step back jumper. That's not something you see, and that's pretty advanced stuff that if you're interested in, give the video a thumbs up so that I can show you a tutorial of how to do the Devin Booker double step back jumper. Anyway, Once again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to those of you that celebrate. I hope you enjoyed the showcase of Devin Booker, in my opinion, the Pro Play MVP 3 years running. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.